It's a partnership that will train the next generation of pilots, and a plan that is really, really major to me. The plan is to have up to 50% of those pilots to be women and people of color. Let's give a round of applause for that. I think that's really, 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 really historic. Now, this morning you will hear from many guest speakers during this event, but I want to bring a little bit of energy right now and pick it up a little bit. If you're not awake, I'm getting ready to wake you up. So I want you all to welcome the ECSU Drumline and the Delights. Let's have a round of applause for the ECSU Drumline and the Delights. At this time, we will now have a posting of colors by ECSU ROTC cadets, followed by the playing of our national anthem by the ECSU choir.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now, the aviation program here at Elizabeth City State University has taken off since its inception back in 2002, quickly becoming one of ECSU's signature programs. It is still the only four-year aviation degree program in the entire state of North Carolina, and it continues to grow. Part of the growth can be attributed to the vision of our fine and first guest speaker of the day. Please welcome to the stage the Dean of School of Science, Aviation, Health, and Technology, Dr. Kuldeep Rawat.
All right, good morning. Good morning. And welcome you all to the official launch of Elizabeth City State University and United Airlines AVIATE partnership. Though we signed this agreement back in April, I'm excited that we are able to get together today to celebrate this partnership. From ECSU, we have Chancellor Dixon, Dr. Ward, Provost and Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. From United Airlines, represented by one of the key architects of this partnership, along with our Chancellor, Kate Gibo. If you could raise that. Executive Vice President, Human Resources and Labor Relations, Kyle Sucher. Director, Human Resources Planning and Strategy, Ephraim Ayala Johnson, Director, Inclusive Talent Strategy and Programs, Andrew LaSouza, Manager, Aviate and Pilot Training, Cecilia Shells, Pilot Recruitment. Now students, what you see here is basically the hiring team for United Airlines. So make sure you get their contact information before they leave Elizabeth City, okay? It's hard to get a team like this in one room, all right? In addition, we welcome our special guest, ECSU Board of Trustee Chairperson, Jan King Robinson, and our newly inducted trustee and graduate of ECSU's Aviation program, Mr. Justin Waddell. We are also pleased to see members of our Aviation Advisory Board here. We have Mr. R.D. Johnson, the chair of the Aviation Advisory Board. Scott Hinton, member of the ECSU Aviation Advisory Board. United Airlines Captain Michael Dunn, member of the ECSU Aviation Advisory Board. And graduate and current member of ECSU Aviation Advisory Board, Willie Nelson. Welcome. And last but not least, we are honored to have our guest speaker here today, United Airlines Captain Teresa Claiborne. Captain, you will have opportunity to listen to her later in the program. But at this time, I would like to invite our Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ward, who will bring greetings and give us an overview of our academic offerings. Dr. Ward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kuldeep, and good morning and welcome to all of you to ECSU and the launch of our AVIATE program. We are thrilled to be entering into this partnership with United Airlines and for all of the opportunities that this program will offer for our students. At ECSU, our academic programs are designed to support the academic growth and development of our students. With 3 schools and over 30 academic programs ranging from unmanned aircraft systems to emergency management, ECSU offers a quality education at an affordable price. Founded in 1891 by the Honorable Hugh Kell as Elizabeth City Colored Normal School, ECSU's first mission was to teach teachers to prepare the next generation of educators. And while 130 years later, we remain committed to ensuring that we educate the next group of educators. As was indicated, we are the only 4-year institution in the state of North Carolina to offer a bachelor's degree in aviation science and are proud to say that aviation science is our signature program. The aviation program was actually originally founded as just a minor within the mathematics program. But in 2002, it launched into a standalone bachelor's in aviation science. Over the last 5 years, ECSU's enrollment has grown by 48%. And it is no doubt that our aviation program is at the middle of that growth. growing from just 47 students in 2016 to an anticipated growth of 154 students this coming academic year. Our aviation science program is on the rise. You know, one of the objectives of our new strategic plan, our 2020-2025 strategic plan, Forging Our Future, was to enter into an agreement with an airline in an effort to strengthen our aviation science program. And I am forever grateful that even in the midst of a pandemic, we have been able to enter into this partnership with United Airlines to make this plan from our strategic plan come to fruition. So again, welcome each of you to ECSU. Those of you who this is your first time visiting, this is your new home away from home. We know it will be a long-standing partnership, and I would be remiss if I didn't teach you one of the family secrets since this is your first time here. So we have so much Viking pride here in Viking land that when we say Viking pride, we don't just say it one time. We say it 3 times. And so I'm going to make sure that you go away knowing how to represent Elizabeth City State University. So, in closing, Viking pride, Viking pride, Viking pride. I look forward to seeing you all again.
Let's have another round of applause for Provost Ward. Thank you so much for that. And I want us to stay on the theme of history because we're talking about historic moments today, and this is just one of them. So I want to stay on that theme as ECSU had another historic moment back on December 14th, 2018. That was the day which our very next speaker was named the 12th Executive Chief Officer and 7th Chancellor of this fine university. From day one, she recognized the importance of the aviation program. So I want to welcome to the stage the Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University, Dr. Carrie Dixon, and joining her on stage, representing United Airlines, Executive Vice President, Human Resources and Labor Relations, Ms. Kate Gibo.
Good morning. Y'all can do better than that. This is a exciting, very exciting day for us. Good morning. Good morning. You know, when I started here, as Clay mentioned, on December 14th of 2018, that was the official start date of my permanent position as chancellor here. I spoke with the provost, spoke with Dr. Rawat, and as part of our vision and my tenure here, I wanted to make sure that we at some point had a partnership with a major airline. And as we envisioned what that would look like, we had no idea that it would come so soon. But when you do the right thing and you're moving the university in the right direction, all things come to fruition. Is that right, students? Yes. So I am just delighted that this day has come. And I am so thankful to Kate. She is phenomenal. Kate and I serve on the Women Advisory Board for the FAA together. And we met and she heard me talk about ECSU. She heard me talk about the fact that we want our story out there on the national level. She heard me talk about the great things and the excellence that was happening here at ECSU, our students, our amazing alumni. And she gave me a call. And Kate said, I want to talk about something. And I want to talk to you to gain your interest. And she and her team met with us. And she learned even more. They learned even more about ECSU. And that conversation, that piece of the importance of networking led to bringing all of this to fruition. So Kate, I say thank you for your interest in ECSU, for your team's interest in the great things that we are doing here in our aviation science program. So again, good morning, everyone. Today is a great day. And it's a great day in the friendly skies as we celebrate this launching of this partnership between United Airlines AVIATE program and the Elizabeth City State University. I am elated and I am encouraged by this strategic collaboration that will allow United and ECSU to train the next generation of pilots. Can I get a hand clap? Yes. On behalf of ECSU Board of Trustees, our administrators, faculty, staff, students, and alumni, thank you, United Airlines, for this mutually beneficial relationship. I would like to acknowledge once again the presence of our board chair, Jan King Robinson, and one of our newest board members, Trustee Justin Waddell. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of our city and county officials. Thank you all for your continued support and advocacy of ECSU and our aviation program. We have been preparing for this day when we would partner with this major airline. ECSU, as we all know, and we all must say it loud, we are the only four-year collegiate aviation program in the state of North Carolina, with a qualified faculty and staff, and a fleet, let me repeat, a fleet of 12 airplanes that we own. We are proud to say our hard work has paid off, and the day we have been preparing for is now here. This partnership will provide pathways to a successful career in aviation for our students. This partnership also provides a pipeline for United to recruit great talent to join their team. This is a win-win situation. The presence of United Airlines representatives today is an indicator that we are about to take flight. As Chancellor, I affirm that we will do our part to ensure the success of this program. We will offer excellence without excuse. Again, thank you to United Airlines. Together, we are going to make a difference. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate this momentous occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Gonna have a socially distanced hug there. I can't tell you how excited we are to be here. And your chancellor is the biggest walking endorsement of this program. From day one, it was crystal clear what Elizabeth City had to offer, and as she described it to me, it really paralleled the path that United is on as well. You are on a path to growth with your program. We are on a path to growth with our airline. That growth is coming in the order of 275 mainline aircraft that are going to need about 10,000 pilots over the next 10 years. So there are some great opportunities for the folks in this room to join United and join that journey. You're going to hear from Teresa Claiborne, one of our 787 captains, later in the program, and hear about that journey and how you can succeed at United. But it's not just about aircraft at United, which is what drew me to everything that Chancellor Dixon was talking about when we talked about the program. It's about values as well. And at United, we believe in inclusion, because every voice needs to be welcomed and heard. That leads to collaboration, which leads to excellence. Excellence in ideas, in the way that we lead, and we are beginning to lead as an airline. You'll see us talking about some of our evolving aircraft orders. So we've got an agreement with Archer Aviation to help develop some eVTOL aircraft. We've also got the boom supersonic planning that we're doing. But it's not just about cool aircraft. It's also about the environment and sustainability, the role we play there, the role we play in humanitarian efforts right now, with teams being deployed to Afghanistan on that humanitarian effort, and how much we take that very, very seriously within United. But it's also about creating careers, not just jobs, but careers at United. I've got over 25 years at United, and that's the average tenure at United, because you don't just come there for a job, you come there for a career. And while we're launching a program related to pilot training and the pilot pipeline, we hope to bring, those represent about 12,000 of the 67,000 jobs at United. So there's another 50,000 jobs at United that are unrelated to pilots. Those are things like marketing, training, human resources, CorpCom, procurement, IT, all of that. And that's where we want to partner very closely, not just with your flight team, but with your entire university to see what we can do to both grow United and grow Elizabeth City at the same time. And we are committed to being here. You're going to get to know us very well over the next couple of years. And so we look forward to that partnership. We have one bit of bad news, however, that I have to share. Unfortunately, our swag is stuck in Memphis due to the flooding that they're having there. But the swag will show up next week, so that'll give us another chance to connect with you. But it is coming, so we know that that's really important. But thank you very much, Chancellor Dixon. Thank you to the board, and you can expect to see United on a regular basis on your campus. And please do reach out. Row 2 is your United recruiting team, and we are looking forward to talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we want to say thank you to Chancellor Dixon and Vice President Gibo for that information. At this time, we have a ribbon here, and it needs to be cut to make this thing official. So if we could have some students from the aviation program make their way up. We'd also like the representatives here from United Airlines to make their way here to the stage as we get ready for the ribbon cutting. Yeah, we're gonna have to back up the podium just a little bit. So, but this is great. This is wonderful. And once we have everyone on stage for the photo op, I will count you all down before the ribbon cutting. So everybody get in place. Oh, they wouldn't cut, they cut it already. Thank you all very much. Let's have a round of applause. Maurice, ready for the video?
When you dream of adventure, is it the destination or is it the journey that excites you? When you imagine your future, what are your limits? Or is it the sky itself? Are you looking for the best tech in the business at your fingertips while also building relationships in the terminal, in the cabin, or on the ground? At United Airlines, your journey will take you to countless destinations and on a world-spanning adventure. Are you ready to be part of a legacy rich with tradition, excellence, and innovation? A thriving company where opportunities abound? To be based in some of the world's best cities, or to commute to one from the place you call home? Do you want a company that dreams your dreams with you? A culture of caring, supporting your achievements, cultivating your success? Well, this is life at United Airlines. And someday, at 35,000 feet, it may be your turn to say,
"This is your captain speaking.
"This is your captain
This
speaking.
is your captain speaking.
This is your captain speaking.
This is your captain speaking.
All right. I'm going to say good morning too. Oh, come on now. Good morning. Okay. So, listen, I got goosebumps at that intro. Let's see how I do. No? How about? No? All right, I won't give up my day job. I'll continue to be a captain on the 787 for United Airlines, flying out of Newark. I'd like to start by saying thank you specifically to Mr. Gooden for inviting me to this function. I was getting ready to go to bed in Paris, France, when my phone went ding, and I thought, okay, I'm just now getting ready to go to bed. What does this person want? It was about midnight in Paris, and I had a really early get up, but I picked up the phone and looked in my messenger, and it was from Mr. Gooden. And he's asking me would I be a guest at the ribbon cutting ceremony for AVIATE and United in Elizabeth City. And I looked in and went, first of all, where's Elizabeth City? And then I started thinking, I'm like, why does that name ring a bell to me? Well, Elizabeth City was in the news not too long ago, and the light came on. So I sent him back a message. I said, well, I really don't know what my schedule is yet, and I really didn't. I was previously supposed to go to Texas for the WASP Museum. I happen to be a board member on the WASP Museum, and I was going to go there for a function, and we actually ended up canceling that. But I said to him, hey, you know what? Let me look at my schedule, and I'll let you know. So when I got home, reached out and found out that event really wasn't going to take place. Then I got on the Google and said, okay, where's this Elizabeth City? Because honestly, once I get off the airplane piloting it, I don't necessarily want to go anywhere else. I want to go home. And I'm like, 2 hours away? Are you kidding me? That's my back door. So I reached back out to him and said, I would be delighted. And of course, anything that promotes the best airline in the world is something I should be participating in. And in case you don't know, that's United Airlines. Let me start out by talking about some of the things that I've experienced and why I find it necessary to get out and mentor specifically women, but really all pilots, anybody who wants to get into this field, because it's a wonderful field. Back about 25 years ago, I was in Denver for training, and I came running down the stairs there. Some of you will end up in Denver, and you'll know which stairs I'm talking about. And I come running down the stairs, and I hear the woman behind the desk say, well, I have a ticket here for a TM Claiborne, is that you? And I'm coming down the stairs, and I get to the bottom of the stairs, and hey, I'm TM Claiborne. And I walk up to the counter, and there's a man standing there, and I guess he was about 6'5", and as you can see, I'm 5'2". And he said, well, my name is Tim Claiborne. And I said, well, I'm TM Claiborne. And I looked at him, and it was kind of like looking at this. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He said, it's fine. How's it going with you? And I said, oh, I'm great. I said, Claiborne, huh? How do you spell it? He said, C-L-A-I-B-O-R-N-E. And I said, me too. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Suffolk, Virginia. I said, I said, I'm from Emporia, Virginia. For those of you who know anything about Virginia, you guys are really right across the border. That's not very far. I mean, I think it's maybe about 40 miles between the two. And I said, whoa. And I looked at him and I said, slave owner. And he looked back at me and he goes, yep, we had a large plantation. For those who are not really familiar, that's how slaves got their last names, by the slave owner. He said, Teresa, we've got history. Reach out, and I will give you all the history that I have on the Claiborne farm, the Claiborne plantation. Now, we haven't as yet done that. Before I knew it, he was retired, but I did look him up, and he's flying for corporations now, so I'll be able to reach out to him, and I'm definitely going to do that. On the way here, we got to Suffolk and turned south. I think it was on 258, I believe. And what did I see? Cotton fields. And it just kind of washed over me that I'm looking at cotton fields. And there was a time when my people were the cotton pickers. And now look at us. I fly a 787 Dreamliner for United Airlines. It still gives me chills to know that. The person who was really instrumental and made it possible for me to do that is my mother, Dorothy, and she's sitting right back there. Mama, can you stand up, please? Ever since I was 10 years old, she said, Teresa, I want you to get an education. I don't want you to have to depend on anyone. I pass that on to especially every young woman I meet, that it's good to have your own. And this profession is a especially good profession. Here's another little story. My first interview was not with United Airlines. It's a little secret. Y'all don't tell nobody. In actuality, when I got hired, it was back in 1990. And since I was the first black woman pilot, guess what? There weren't any, or in the Air Force, there weren't a whole lot of black women running around who were qualified to fly for a major airline. So every airline wanted Teresa Claiborne. That's a nice feeling to have. But it, brought on its challenges. My first interview, I won't mention the name of the company. I went there, and we'll just say that they had what they called an astronaut physical. And the physical portion of it, I did not make the grade because they said I was anemic by 0.01 in my iron. So they said, instead, everybody else used to get a little letter that said, I'm sorry, but competition was stiff. I actually got a letter that said, take this to your doctor, get prescribed a medication, and when you get your numbers up to snuff, come back. After I'd taken that part of the physical, we sat there with a bunch of us that kind of looked alike. And when I say we looked alike, I was obviously the only black woman, and I happened to be the only woman. There were 5 of us. 4 white gentlemen, but we all looked alike, and what I mean by that is we all had on blue pinstripe suits, we all had on a crisp white shirt, and we had a red tie on. My tie was a little different than their tie, but nonetheless it was a red tie. If there's one thing we know, airlines like uniformity. Don't show up in something crazy, or you're not going to get the job. Trust me. So we're all sitting there, and everybody's nervous. You got your flashcards. You're kind of doing that last-minute study, thinking, oh, my goodness, if they ask me this, I'm going to say this. If they ask me that, I'm going to say that. And out of the blue, because it's silence, and it's one of those hard silences because you're all nervous. Got my head down, I'm looking through my cards, and I hear, well, we know you'll get hired. I stopped shuffling my cards. I looked up. Everybody's looking up at this point. And I didn't even know who said it. So I said, what did you say? He repeats it. Well, we all know you'll get hired. So I looked him straight in the face and I said, well, why is that? And he said, because you're a black woman and you're female. I said, do you think it could be because I have 2,500 hours of jet flying time, flying a Boeing 707, KC-135, and I've even been into combat zones, that I have an FE written and an ATP? I said, do you think that could play a part in me getting a job? Silence. And everybody put their head back down. Never heard another peep out of that gentleman. It didn't end there, and it still totally hasn't ended. There are people who don't know me that I don't have to prove anything to anyone. United Airlines put this 4th stripe on my jacket, and I took all the same tests everybody else took, and I'm a captain. But there is that pressure always of eyes staring at you. So every landing I make, I want to make it the best one. Every time I fly, at the end of the flight, during debrief, I say, what is it that Teresa can do to be a better captain? Because what I want them to do is leave the flight deck and say, man, I flew with Teresa Claiborne. She's an awesome captain. She's a good pilot, but she's an awesome captain. She took good care of us. She made sure everything was the way it was supposed to be. Because I know that if I don't do well, someone's going to look and say, oh yeah, that Janice, that black girl right there, I don't think she's going to make it. Because I've been there too. When they said I was too short. And I arrived at pilot training and they said, oh, you're lacking about an inch in sitting height. And I sat for about 4 months during academics, waiting for my waiver because I'd already gone out in a T-38 and held the brakes in Afterburner. I'd already done that. I'd done everything I needed to do to get the waiver, and they decided no more waivers. And I was told she needs to go back and get remeasured. I did that after the weekend where I laid on my waterbed all weekend. And I got up on Monday morning and eased my way to the flight office and sat on the scale. And the doctor, who knew that I'd already completed all the steps to get the waiver, looked at it and said, "Looks like 34 to me." So I was on my way. But those obstacles are still there. Women tend to be shorter. I know we have some tall ones in here. Army pride, that girl's tall. I flew with, when I first took my captain bid, I went to Dulles. I flew with a first officer who, very nice guy. But after we'd been in the air for a little while, he started talking about his buddy who hadn't been hired at United Airlines. And I thought to myself, here we go. Teresa, don't get excited. I let him talk a little bit, and I said, hey, look, I know this isn't exactly politics, but I don't talk politics on the flight deck. Because chances are you and I'm talking to him, have a difference of opinion. So let's keep this flight deck civil. Let's do our jobs. I'll be captain, you'll be first officer. That was a little hint. I'll be captain, you'll be first officer. And let's get this airplane safely on the ground. And then when we get to London, we'll go to the pub tonight and I'll have a cider and you can have a beer and we'll talk about all that. So we get on the ground. Sure enough, we all came up with a time to go and have a meal. It's always fish and chips for me in London with a cider. And I said, so tell me that story you were telling me about. He goes, oh yeah, you know, my friend tried to get hired and he just, I said, well, you know, I don't know why your friend didn't get hired, but maybe he just can't do a good interview. He may have a lot of hours, but maybe he just can't interview. I said, but I will tell you this. There are only 17 black women pilots at United Airlines. 17, y'all. We have over 12,000 pilots. There are 17 of us. I think there are about 220 total blacks, and maybe a few more added to that. Of those 17 black women, 2 of us are captains. So I looked at him and said, trust me, I did not take your friend's job. You are all here at Elizabeth City. This is an HBCU, so we all know why HBCUs came into being. They wouldn't allow you at the white universities. So you had to come up with your own education system. And yeah, it was to teach teachers so that we could show that we could be more than cotton pickers. United Airlines, yes, there was a joining of 2 people, but United Airlines is also a champion of diversity. It may not sound like it when you hear that there's only 17 black women, but we're leading the pack. United Airlines has more black flight officers than any other airline. United Airlines has around 900 women, which is more than any other airline. Besides, I think Air India, they have more. So United Airlines is really leading the pack with diversity. Some people don't like that word, but it's a good word. I will never forget flying on a KC-135 and coming back from that flight and doing our debrief, and my boom operator said, well, I got something to add. I'm like, yeah, come on, boom, what do you got to add? He said, this was the most pleasant flight I've ever been on in my life. Threw me aback. I said, what? He said, yeah. It just so happened that flight, I was the captain, or the aircraft commander, the way we call it in the Air Force. That's what we do in the Air Force, Orestes, not we don't, I mean, the Navy, I don't know what they do, but that's what we say in the Air Force. And my co-pilot, or first officer, was a woman, and my navigator was a woman. And he said, I just love this flight. I loved it. I said, well, why do you think that is? And he said, I think it's because there wasn't a bunch of testosterone bouncing off the windows. Listen, y'all, there's something to be said for that. And this is nothing against you males. But y'all need us. You need us to calm that whole atmosphere down. It's a pleasant atmosphere. It really is. So if you haven't been convinced yet that you want to fly with women, you need to get that entrenched in your mind, because guess what? United Airlines, that's what we're going to do. Okay? United Airlines took a big hit when they announced AVIATE. There were things swirling. National news said what they wanted to say. There were people writing things like, well, why are they getting hired just because they're black? Don't you want the best pilots? Y'all are going to be the best pilots, white and black. We're only going to take the best. You're not going to get a job just because you go to Elizabeth City. We're just going to look at you first. So you need to bring it, okay? Not only that, with United being here now, the competition is going to start to get stiff. You better keep your grades up, because a lot of people are going to want to come here. I was bowled over when I heard what your tuition was. And the fact to get through this program flying is about $35,000. I call it from 0 to 60, but it's, from private up to your CFI or MEI, whatever you choose. That's awesome. At AVIATE, we're going to do it for about $75,000. That's a big chunk of change. And those people, for the most part, I believe, we've got some of the interviewers here, and some other folks will know some of the specific numbers, but a lot of those people are already college graduates. So you are here at Elizabeth City, a wonderful university where you're not only getting your flying for $35,000, but you're getting a wonderful education. It's always good to have a backup. Always good to have a backup. Opportunity here at Elizabeth City. I said, how am I going to talk about opportunity besides the fact that you're all here? You know what? I looked at it and said, you got to look at this word and you got to break it down. And I thought about, I could say what O stands for and what P stands for and OPP. No, anyway. I'm dating myself, right? But here's what I came up with. The end of opportunity is unity. And what we have is a unified team here, right? UNI for United. TY for Elizabeth City. Unity. All right? We're going to make this work. We're going to make this work. Now, I brought my bag up here because I want to show you a few things. I'm almost done. Things that I take with me to fly. Number one, I always have my driver's license. This is my Virginia driver's license. I always have my FAA certificate. Because if the inspector gets on board, that's what they're going to be asking for. Where's your certificate? Where's your medical certificate? And I got that too. Down here in my case, I've got my passport. And I've got something else. That I always have to have. It's a seat cushion. Now, I don't have hemorrhoids. I'm just 5'2". And in a 787 Dreamliner, we fly with something called a HUD, a heads-up display. And that flips down, and the bottom of the HUD is our compass rose. I can't see the compass rose without my cushion, so I always have it. Remember I told you about how they were making a big deal about she was short and I wouldn't be able to do the program? You can do what you want to do. Now, I couldn't have one of these in a fighter jet, no, and we flew the T-37 and the T-38. I think you flew the same thing. They've gone away from the T-38, and the T-37. So I couldn't have one of those in those airplanes, but those seats came up high enough. And I kind of have relatively long legs. I didn't have a problem with rolling the rudder pedals in. But the 787 has gotten me, so got my cushion. My final word, and I'm taking some liberty here. The last thing that I always have with me is my COVID vaccination card. I hope you all have yours. All you students out there, this is my word. This is not necessarily United Airlines talking, although United Airlines is forefront on that too, because we've already said to our people, you will take your COVID shot. It's good business, it's good for your health, it's good for our passengers, it's good for everybody. If you are students out there and you don't have a COVID card, you are putting this entire university at risk. Remember what it was like last semester? Online courses. You can't fly an airplane online unless you're on a simulator. And I don't think you guys worry about that, do you? So go get your COVID shot. I'm hoping that the university, they figure out some way maybe to bring those vaccinations here on campus. It's even more important for you people because you're sitting on the flight deck with someone right next to you. That ain't no 6 feet. So don't take the chance. If you have been vaccinated, you are susceptible to a breakthrough. So if you're not vaccinated, don't be responsible for giving someone a breakthrough. You know, you might be one of those people that's just a carrier. You don't show any signs of it. So please, get your COVID shots, okay? I don't know what your mom and dad is telling you. I know that your administrators are trying to get you all to do it. I wish that the state of North Carolina would say you had to do it. But Pfizer just got a final approval. So those who said, oh, well, you know, it's just experimental, I'm not going to do it. It's not experimental. They've got final approval. Do the right thing, get your COVID shot. That's all I got.
Let's have another round of applause for Captain Claiborne. Thank you for that information. Stay standing because at this time, ECSU Chancellor Dr. Kerry Dixon has a special gift for Captain Claiborne.
So, Captain Claiborne, as I told you yesterday, we are so honored to have you here today to celebrate this partnership with United Airlines and what you have done, the path that you have provided for many to come behind you. You are a giant, and we are so excited. And look, I have to have me a little cushion too. We are so excited to have you here and to be a partner of ECSU. So one thing I would like to present, and we only present this to our very special friends of the university, is a challenge coin. Ooh, oh, so you will always be a Viking, and we are so honored and privileged to have you. Yes, she knows how to do the V too, Viking pride. But we also would like to provide you with a little gift to say thank you on behalf of the university, the administrators, the faculty, the staff, our alumni, our friends. Thank you so much for spending time with us today and answering Mr. Goodson's call when he asked you to come here and spend the day with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. going on, Doc? Thank you. Yes. Oh, he wants us to come around.
Well, I guess we can finally say that AVIATE is official here on the campus of ECSU. Let's have a round of applause for everybody who put this together. I want to take this time to thank all of the representatives who are here from United Airlines. Thank you so much for your partnership and working with Elizabeth City State University. Of course, we want to thank the ECSU Board of Trustees who are here and just everyone here who is from the community of Elizabeth City and Northeastern North Carolina for this special occasion. Of course, Captain Claiborne, an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Round of applause finally for her too. Thank you for that information. And I can honestly say that ECSU is doing its part with the COVID vaccine. We have a weekly testing that takes place here on campus. So if you don't have your vaccine, now is a great time to do that. Again, thank you all for joining us here for this historic occasion. We're going to bring up the ECSU drumline and the ECSU Delights one more time for a final performance. Before we go any further, if I could have everyone in here say, Viking Pride, Viking Pride, Viking Pride. Thank y'all. Have a good evening. again, we want to thank everyone who's here in attendance, also anybody who's watching on YouTube Live. We want to thank you. Also want to thank the team at W18 BBTV, the on-campus television station here at ECSU. Finally, for all the students within the aviation program, if you could stay back so you get to meet up with some of the members, representatives here from United Airlines. That concludes today's program. Thank you all for coming out and have a wonderful day.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard United Airlines, Flight 743. I'm your Captain Brian Jackson, Chief Pilot here at Los Angeles International Airport. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Pilot.
That's right, a pilot.
When you first dream that you want to become a pilot, you seek someone that looks like you, so you can say, I want to be like them.
I'm part of a rich history of pilots that go back to the Tuskegee Airmen.
The Tuskegee Airmen were the first black pilots to fight in World War II, and they set a precedent of having African Americans in the flight deck. I wouldn't be here without them, and I want to be able to supply opportunities like that for generations to come.
So programs like the Tuskegee Next program helps to put these faces in front of the kids today, so they can see those that they can aspire to be. Those opportunities weren't there when I was growing up. It is important not to forget the past, and that to me is what makes me most proud to be an African-American leader here at United Airlines. Aviation is my life. United is my family. Good to be back. How's everything today? It's important to me to know that every step that I take is allowing other people that look like me the opportunity to do these same things behind me. And even my daughter, who today is taking lessons to become a pilot, I'm behind her in any dream or goal she wants to achieve. Just remember, you can do anything that you want to do, and nobody can tell you no. Got it?
Yeah.
Follow your dream, work hard, overcome obstacles, and you can achieve anything.
Our strategic plan that we have titled Forging Our Future is a plan for the university's outlook as we build a map of where we want to go for the future. One focus is growth and then also building our regional development. And then we want to look at ways in which we can enhance our capital. You know, how do we attract people here to want to work, to want to live in this area of northeastern North Carolina? And I'm very proud of our students, and they never forget their past, but it becomes part of their story, part of their journey, and it becomes part of their narrative that they are even more anxious and excited to share and talk about. We always say we want our students to come here to discover their passions, but leave to conquer their dreams. And here, I think they will definitely get that opportunity to do exactly that.